Okay, party on, everybody. Happy Halloween. Welcome to Fantasy Football Today, presented by BetMGM. Make it legendary, or should I say, it's Fantasy Football Today.
Hey, make time, fight time, excellent. Yeah.
Hey, Wayne Campbell here, Garth Algar.
Party on, Wayne.
Party on, Garth. And Jamie, Batman guy. Jamie, what is this? Yeah, it looks good. What's up?
I forgot to get the wig. Sorry.
We didn't know what to do for Jamie. We thought maybe Alice Cooper, Cassandra, but I appreciate you dressing up. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the show. I could also do this. Oh wait, let's remember how they do the alternate endings in Wayne's World. We could do the alternate.
Why don't
intros.
you save that for the end of the show?
we could do the super scary intro, Dave. Oh, I'm Adam Hellraiser with depraved Dave Richard and Jamie the Hills have Eisenbergs. Happy Halloween. We got some fun stuff prepared for you today. All right, we also have 6 games to preview. Our NFC home games are Carolina at Green Bay, Minnesota at Detroit, San Francisco at the Giants, Seattle at Washington, New Orleans at the Rams, and Arizona at Dallas. Yeah. All right, let's party on. Talk about Baltimore 28 and Miami 6. Could have been a closer game. Jamie, the Dolphins shot themselves in the foot a little bit, but before the injury, Lamar Jackson, I think, had a pretty good case for fantasy MVP. He's now played 5 games and he scored 33 or more points in 4 of them. Holy cow. If you're drafting today, who would you take ahead of Lamar Jackson?
I would take Jamar Chase. I would take Bijan Robinson. I would take Jonathan Taylor. I would take Jackson Smith-Njigba. I would take
McCaffrey.
Puka Nacua. I mean, I'm still not taking a quarterback in the first round.
Oh, come on. He deserves to be in the first round. He's top 12 player. No? He's not.
I just wouldn't do it.
No.
He's incredible. Oh, my gosh. All right, Jamie, what are your takeaways from this game?
I think you said it. The first half, the Dolphins were definitely in the game. The false start penalty on the 4th down call. Mike McDaniel felt like they had a touchdown there. If you read his lips, the missed field goal was bad. Also, the Malik Washington 2 turnovers were obviously bad. The first one, cost them a 7-0 deficit. But you could just tell that they needed to be perfect for that to work out for Miami, and it just wasn't the case. But Devon Achane looked awesome. Jalen Waddle was fine. It's just a matter of at this point. It's funny. I had to do a DFS lineup for last night. And Dave and Heath were sitting in the room when I did the hit, and I saw Dave shake his head when I said Greg Dulcich because he was cheap, and he actually ended up playing well. So
I didn't even know he was on the Dolphins. That's why I was. I was like, Dulcich is on the Dolphins now.
Yeah, he was $2,000 on FanDuel, and so you had to find somebody. But
that was a great call.
Okay, you needed someone to catch the ball there. But in any event, I hit the microphone. Sorry.
It's so funny to watch you right now in this costume. Just talk like a normal guy. It's like nothing's on your face. It's so funny. I think it's all systems go. Like start Achane, start Waddle, start Jackson, Well, we can talk about Flowers. Derrick Henry really had a pretty bad first half. Had some touchdown opportunities, but Lamar Jackson was just throwing all of them. Mark Andrews had 2 touchdowns on 3 targets. So, Dave, how do you value Mark Andrews and Zay Flowers, who we were talking about as a buy low? He's still, in his career, he still only has 2 good games where he's had less than 7 targets. And he didn't get there last night. He had 5 targets, but that's because he never scores. Anyway, your thoughts on Andrews and Flowers?
I think you're still starting Flowers as a number 2 type of fantasy wide receiver, but a high-end number 2 receiver. Anytime the Ravens are in a game where you're expecting them to score a lot of points and maybe focus on more of like those high-scoring competitive games, you should feel even better about, say, Flowers. But putting him top 10, top 12, I don't know, man. It depends on who else is available at wide receiver that you could go to in a given week to just rank them that high. But you're starting Zay Flowers pretty much every week. Andrews is a little bit of a different story. I feel like he's red zone dependent. If the Ravens, if they've got a really tough matchup or a defense that they're facing that's really good in the red zone and inside the 10, it's going to be tougher to trust him because he doesn't get a lot of targets on a week-to-week basis, and he's so touchdown dependent. Last night was kind of easy to go with him. I actually moved him up just a little, not enough, obviously. to put him in. I think I ended up with him at like something like that. So
Where?
a decent 13th.
Okay.
As
Okay.
in Friday the 13th.
Oh.
But still not the best tight end that you could start in fantasy, but better than your typical streamer.
Someone called me Winona Azer. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, that would be it for Thursday Night Football. I don't know if we do that for Friday. All right. So we have a YouTube poll from Thomas, who's not producing today, but decided to murder me via YouTube poll anyway. How long would Adam Azer survive in a Scream movie? Dies in the opening scene, makes it to halfway through, survives until the very end, or turns out to be the killer?
Dies in the first scene.
I think it survives till the very end.
I think so too. And we only have 8% of the vote here, Jamie, because most people are, yes, killing me in the first scene, 52% of the vote. Turns out to be the killer, 32%, and then 8% for the other two options, halfway through and survive until the very end. Listen, I don't drink, right? You know the rules. I don't drink. I'm not going to be stupid and say, I'll be right back. You know, I know the rules, and I'm the sensible, responsible one. I'm going to die in the sequel, probably. So thank you, everybody, for that. Football fans, bring that playoff energy to your pro football bets all season long. This Pro Football Boost Pack gives you 3 ways to boost your payout on a winning bet. Just log into your BetMGM account to receive your Boost Pack, then place any pro football bet and apply one of the tokens. Make sure to bet up to the minimum stake, odds, and legs specified on the token. If your boosted bet hits, you'll score a bigger payout. From opening kickoffs to game-winning drives, this Pro Football Boost Pack is your ticket to unforgettable moments this season. Don't wait on the sidelines. Join the action with BetMGM. All right, let's do some news and notes here. Okay, excellent. Yeah. Jaden Daniels expected to play. Kyler Murray seems to be on track to play. Do you guys feel good right now about Kyler starting at his Monday night game?
Good about him starting, yes. Good about him as like a must-start fantasy quarterback, not as much.
I go the other way right now. There was an NFL Network report that the Cardinals may not be sure at this point. Mike Garafolo on the broadcast before the game yesterday said they pushed back his media availability, which is obviously not a great sign. So just something to keep in mind. It seems like he's going to play. I mean, we got the report from Schefter, but when I saw that yesterday, I was like, oh, do I need to get a backup plan just in case? I dropped Jacoby Brissett in one Superflex league where I have him with Kyler, and I was a little like, not thrilled about that. But I think if Kyler plays, he's going to be awesome. I mean, just based on how everybody's done against this Cowboys defense, 23 or more fantasy points. So I would still start him if he's out there.
Okay. Atlanta optimistic about Michael Penix. Bryce Young practiced in full. Good news for Flacco, but not great news. He was upgraded to limited. We still don't know if he's going to play. Hopefully we'll have an update for you on the mailbag, which we record at noon on Friday, publishes for audio on Saturday. JJ McCarthy's good to go. And then still Brock Purdy limited, Mac Jones practicing in full. So right now we're ranking Mac Jones. We'll obviously stay updated on the 49ers situation. Ramondre Stevenson still not practicing with that toe injury. We talked about this game yesterday. They did sign Dearness Johnson, sorry, but Travion Henderson would be what for you if Ramondre missed the game against Atlanta?
I would cautiously rank him as a top 26 running back. Maybe he'd crack the top 24. I don't think he'd be the only running back in New England. Mike Vrabel seemed really impressed with Terrell Jennings 2 weeks ago as kind of like their close it out running back. I think he called him the 5-minute running back, which is usually what you call somebody who's just going to grind the clock and do well enough to get a couple of first downs along the way. But he's available in 99% of leagues. I really do believe that it will be a tandem in New England, no matter what they do at running back. And if there's no Ramondre, Travion might lead the way, but it would be Jennings, who's kind of a hammer back himself, also pitching in.
Okay, I can just give you one example. I have Travion Henderson on my bench right now. If Ramondre's out, I'll start him over either Kendrick Bourne or Christian Watson, something like that.
Sure.
Hassan Haskins missed practice again. Tony Pollard back to practicing in full. DeAndre Swift missed practice. We should definitely be rostering Kyle Monangai. It's not unusual for Swift to miss practice, but on a Wednesday, on a Thursday, it's a little more concerning here.
I think he actually missed Thursday one of the last 2 weeks too.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're right, because I remember everyone making a dash to get Manon guy, and then Swift played. But it is a great matchup, and just monitor it. Woody Marks was limited. Pacheco missed practice, and Cam Scatterbush should be ready for training camp. All right, wide receiver news. Detroit, their offensive coordinator, John Morton, said he has failed Jamison Williams. They want to get him the ball more. I don't know if it's going to be the week, but if you have Jamison Williams, could have a good second half. Let's hope. Puka Nacua is going to play. Lad McConkey was limited with a calf issue. Is anybody worried about that one?
Not yet.
No.
Okay. Christian Kirk looks like he's going to play. Nico Collins is going to play. According to Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk, the Eagles, I think I said this one yesterday, they're unofficially shopping A.J. Brown. No Terry McLaurin.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
I heard something yesterday where they're listening to offers.
Right.
Everybody knows that he's upset. So it's a matter of, will they get something that overwhelms them? I'd be very surprised if they trade him.
Okay, Drake London limited. Darnell Mooney practiced in full. We don't know yet about Drake London. That's one we're going to have to monitor. Josh Downs, though, he practiced in full. Yesterday, I said that all of the Bears wide receivers missed practice, while Odunze and DJ Moore, they were limited. Cooper Kupp was limited with heel and hamstring issues. Still no Calvin Ridley. Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter were both limited. Josh Palmer was limited. Rashid Shaheed was limited, and Ricky Pearsall missed practice again. We do have some tight end news. Zach Jackson of The Athletic thinks the Browns will trade either David Njoku or Jerome Ford. They've been replaced by rookies, so those guys could be on the move, which means you should hold on to both Njoku and Fannin during the bye week, and we'll see what happens. Cole Kmet limited again. So, Jamie, how do you feel about Loveland, who is your favorite tight end streamer, with Kmet getting 2 limited sessions in?
I think you just got to, at this point, figure that he's a desperation play. A good pivot maybe to Gunnar Helm if Chico Okonkwo doesn't play. Okonkwo's been on the injury report each of the last 2 days. So just looking at what his opportunities might be, that's somebody that I'm going to keep my eye on. But I did some DFS lineups last night. I put Loveland in just with the hope of, he's been running more routes lately. Kmet's still banged up. 2 receiver injuries for the Bears. I wouldn't be surprised if Loveland still has a good game, but not the same amount of confidence, clearly.
Dalton Schultz missed practice. He may not play this week. Kyle Pitts was limited. Pat Freiermuth did practice in full. Jamie mentioned Chico Okonkwo missing practice, and Daniel Bellinger missed practice for the Giants. Offensive line, mentioned how Carolina is beat up. Kansas City guard Trey Smith was limited. That's great news for them. Giants right tackle Jermaine Illuminor, he said he's going to play, but he's been missing practice. Chargers guard Mekhi Becton may not play this week. Washington left tackle Laramie Tunsil missed practice. I'm looking forward to talking about that game later. Pittsburgh guard Isaac Seumalo missed practice, and Christian Darrisaw practiced in full on Wednesday. This is Minnesota's star left tackle. He practiced in full on Wednesday. He did not practice yesterday. And I just want to bring out, J.J. McCarthy, he didn't play with Christian Darrisaw. Darrisaw missed both of those games. So, I'm eager. And he didn't play with Jordan Addison either. I'm interested to see what he can do if he's got a full, he's got a tough matchup, but full assortment of players on his side.
Right, but that would mean Brian O'Neill would have to be back at right tackle also.
Okay,
part of the problem for the Vikings last week is they ended up without both of their starting tackles in the game against the Chargers.
Okay. All right. That's it for the news and notes. We do have some defensive injuries, but I think you're probably all ready to move on. Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern. Join us, youtube.com/fantasyfootball today. We'll be answering your questions until kickoff. And Dave wanted to know, what would happen if Wayne and Garth met Batman? Dave, you know what I think they would say?
What?
We're not worthy.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
We suck.
Stop it already.
We suck. All right. We'll be right back with
How
one
do you
question.
get all that stuff on your belt?
We'll be right back with one question for each game.
When you need your sports news all the time,
We've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you. When you need your sports in a snap, find it on CBS Sports HQ, streaming free anywhere you are.
I think one of the hairs from the wig just got in my throat. So this will be a fun segment. Okay, one question for each game. Carolina's at Green Bay. Starter sit, Rico Dowdle. Jamie.
Low end starter at best. Don't love the matchup. I still don't know what the split's going to be from Dave Canales with Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard. And so you look at the last 3 games for the Packers, it's under 10 PPR points for Jalen Warren, Zonovan Knight, and
Chase Brown?
Yeah. So I think two of those guys are comparable to Rico Dowdle, and the offensive line is still an issue for the Panthers in terms of injuries. Bryce Young is either going to play hurt, or Andy Dalton's going to play hurt, or Andy Dalton's just going to play. So it's just it's tough to say slam dunk for Rico Dowdle. So I'd rather start Kareem Hunt. I'd rather start Woody Marks. I'd rather start Bam Knight.
Oh.
Bam Knight's the best player ever, by the way.
The Dark Knight likes Bam Knight.
That's right.
Yes.
I'm trying to think. The one that I keep going back and forth with would be Henderson. If Henderson is the full-time guy there, I'd still start Dowdle, but it's close.
All right, Minnesota's at Detroit. Dave, who's a better flex in this game? Jordan Addison or David Montgomery?
Format dependent. If it's non-PPR, I'll lean toward Montgomery on the hope that he scores and gets enough rushing yards. I'm nervous about Darrisaw playing, the offensive line for Minnesota, J.J. McCarthy playing well. And so I've lowered expectations for both Jefferson and Addison. Both of them are number 2 receivers. Addison, a low end, Jefferson, a high end. If it's full PPR, I might lean toward Addison.
Okay.
Also,
yeah.
Do you think like the wig company used like housewife wigs as like the same thing as the Garth and Wayne wigs? Because I don't feel like Garth had a little more volume to his hair, and Wayne did too.
I don't know.
I don't feel like I'm an authentic Garth over here, is what I'm saying.
Oh, I think you look pretty good. I mean, all you need is the Aerosmith t-shirt. Then you'd be pretty authentic. Okay, but David Montgomery, by the way, now for the second time in his Detroit tenure, has gone 2 straight games without a touchdown. Will he have 3 straight games? San Francisco is at the Giants. Jamie, who's the best wide receiver in this game?
Wan'Dale Robinson.
Dave, agreed?
Agreed.
Okay. I think just one thing to keep in mind, like the wide receivers for the passing game for the Niners has been really bad the last couple of weeks. They faced Atlanta and Houston. This week, the Giants are probably going to be missing their starting cornerbacks. It just could be a little bit better of a situation for the Niners passing game. Seattle at Washington. Jamie, back to you again. How much faith do you have in the Washington passing game? We talk about Deebo Samuel, Zach Ertz in a great matchup. How much faith do you have in them?
I think Deebo Samuel just by default is a low-end number 2 receiver, high-end number 3 receiver, depending on what you're looking at. Hopefully, the fact that he's practicing full, the heel injury is behind him. This has been the setup for him that he's had the most success, which is no Terry McLaurin, Jaden Daniels under center. And so, it's not easy. Seattle has given up some big numbers to number 1 receivers at this point, at times this season, but it's going to be a struggle. I have the most faith, honestly, in Ertz just because of how bad Seattle's been against tight ends. Last time we saw them play, it was Dalton Schultz going crazy, and this has been the best setup for Ertz as well. McLaurin missing and really just Jaden Daniels. All of his bad games so far this season for Ertz have come with Marcus Mariota under center. So Ertz is number 1 tight end this week.
Okay. New Orleans is at the Rams. Dave, is Chris Olave a must start with Tyler Shuck?
Yes, especially in full and half PPR. I don't think they're going to pull away from him. The targets have been too good. I actually have it pulled up. 13, 10, 14, 6, 11, 10, 7, 12. That's his target numbers every game this year. I think you pencil him in for double-digit targets, even with Shuck.
Okay. Would you start Olave or Deebo Samuel?
Olave. I soured on Deebo doing research earlier this week.
All right. Well, okay. All right. Well, we'll get to that, I guess, when we get to the game, because I couldn't figure out what's going on with Deebo Samuel. I don't know if it's the injury, if the target share has gone down. It's not like he's bad when McLaurin plays. It's not like he's bad. It's not like it's quarterback dependent. It's just been terrible. All right. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Arizona's at Dallas. Rank these 3, Jamie. Zonovan Knight, George Pickens, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Bam Knight is number 1 in every category. I would go Pickens, Harrison, Knight.
Pickens, Harrison, Knight. And what would you do with Harrison's ranking? Does it matter who his quarterback is?
No.
Yes.
It does?
I'm more encouraged if it's Brissett.
Oh, that's
just
so
from
sad.
what I've seen the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, but I'm still starting him no matter what.
Agreed, but I'm moving him up a little bit if it's Brissett.
All right, guys. Let's get a little scary here. Let's get to the scary games for Sunday. Every game today will have a name of the game. Carolina is at Green Bay. The name of the game that I use every year, Tommy Tremble. Okay. Okay. How do we feel about Tedero McMillan, guys? Dave?
I'm digging him. I like him as a number 2 receiver, especially in full PPR. It's the same story with him every week. Lots of targets. Game script is going to be in his favor. It wouldn't surprise me if he was close to what he did last week.
Oh, that was a big week. That was like 90-something yards, right? What was last week for McMillan? 7 catches, 99 yards. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Is he the best
receiver in this game?
Well, he's the best receiver in this game, but
yes, he's not the best pass catcher though.
He's not. No, Kraft is better. Yeah. Or Tremble. I'm just kidding. Not Tremble.
This is kind of an easy game, except for Dowdle, right? Start Jacobs, start McMillan, start Kraft.
Well, what do you do with
Packers
Love?
receivers? A lot of questions.
Yeah, it's not that easy, right? It's Love and the Packers receivers are tough. We'll get back to Dowdle. All right, how would you rank Dowdle with Dobbs, Watson, Golden?
I think he's safer than those guys because at least he's going to get his touches. With the Packers receivers, the question is, with Watson back last week, we saw Dobbs take a downturn in targets, which is something that he needs, especially if he's not finding the end zone. Golden is just at this point, as we talked about on Tuesday, droppable, which sucks because I still think there's plenty of upside there, but too many mouths to feed. In the case of Dowdle, again, it's what's the split going to be? Dave Canales, I appreciate his honesty, and how he's approached this. And so is this going to be all Rico Dowdle? Is it going to be 70-30? Is it going to be, 60-40 and just a slight favor for him in terms of playing time and touches? So I think you just have to be a little bit cautious with Dowdle. This is a really good Packers run defense. If this was the case and they're playing the Dolphins again or the Cowboys again, you'd be like, okay, I don't care what the split is. I'm starting him no matter what. But it's just with Green Bay's defense, it's tough to trust.
What the hell is going on? Why is he here?
It's Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Nando-ween.
Happy Halloween, Nando.
What are you doing here?
Dave told me to come.
What's up?
I invited him to the Halloween party, man.
Yeah. Yeah. He wanted me to come say hi. I'm Dave Azer, speech coach for Halloween. I'm just walking around with the phone in the background.
You're being my brother for Halloween? Good for you.
Yeah. Is that weird?
Yes, it's weird. Everything about you is weird, Nando.
Azer and I haven't talked in months since he engineered me not being able to come on the draft-a-thon cleverly. And so I stopped texting him first, and we haven't talked basically since.
What are you going to be for Halloween?
I'm Dave Azer, speech coach.
Oh, okay. Well, you're doing great.
Wait till you see what I'm dragging on the ground, like a typical Azer.
What are you dragging on the ground?
No, I'm joking.
Oh, okay. All right, listen, we got it.
Armbar tie. Yeah, thank you, Dave.
I just got that. Got that.
It's a
Very
pumpkin.
good. Why is he here? Can we end this?
All right,
please?
I'll go. Hey,
Couldn't he say to help us get through this game?
No.
Yes, he can.
All right, Nando. Who's your
Maybe
favorite?
even some speech tips.
Who's
Why
your
don't we talk
favorite?
about my record in the
what league?
draft-a-thon league? Even though I played the league, I wasn't allowed on the show. I think I'm 8-0.
Are you really?
I can
Yeah,
check.
I might be. It's better than the year I stole all of Dave's rankings just to piss him off.
Hey, wait a minute.
All right, come on. We're going so off track. Nando, thank you for coming on.
No, we have to
Happy
see what his
Halloween.
record is. Hold on.
That's great. We can do that without him.
No, he has to stay.
Adam, I'm going to make you hit the forced to leave studio button.
There
Nando
it
is tied for first at 6-2. He has scored the third most points. He is ahead of
that's
all of us.
Yeah, that's good. It's a great.
It's almost 8-0.
I missed so much. How do you rank? Who's your favorite Packers receiver?
Watson.
I think I still have Dobbs the highest.
Okay. Start Kraft. Let's see. Anything? Jordan Love. Dave starter sit Jordan Love.
I'm worried about him not throwing a lot. And when he doesn't throw a lot, his numbers tend to go down. I feel like this is not just a Josh Jacobs game, but maybe like a running game overall for Green Bay. So I would hesitate to start Jordan Love.
He has 3 games this season over 20 fantasy points. All 3 of them have been when he's been 30 pass attempts or more.
There you go. Caleb Williams is ahead of him.
If he doesn't get the 30 pass attempts, is he going to be trustworthy enough? Now he can get you, he could have the Matthew Stafford game because I think the Panthers defense isn't necessarily one to fear, but I would probably lean I'm surprised at his projections. He was great last week against Pittsburgh, but his pass attempts were up. So I don't know. I think he's a low end number 1 quarterback at best.
Okay. Would you also start Caleb Williams over him?
Yeah.
Flacco or Jordan Love if Flacco plays?
Flacco.
If Flacco gets in a full practice report on Friday and we're not, concerned about game day question mark. I mean, you'll know obviously on Sunday with the inactives, but I just feel like Flacco's a little nerve wracking. Just wrong hit to the shoulder. He's a 40-plus-year-old guy at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to read.
Does that make you nervous about the Bengals receivers too, James?
More so Higgins than Chase, but I would start Chase if Wayne was the quarterback.
Swing. Okay. Jordan Love or Cardinals quarterback?
Cardinals quarterback. Too much upside.
I agree.
Rank these players: Rico Dowdle, Aaron Jones, Deebo Samuel. PPR.
Deebo, Rico, Jones.
I think I have Rico, Deebo, Jones. Jones is definitely third on the list.
Kraft or Gadsden?
Kraft.
Agreed.
Watson or Rico Dowdle? Jamie said Rico.
I agree.
Dobbs or Slayton? Half PPR.
I'd go Slayton.
Could it be Slayton?
Really?
Oh, wait, wrong Dana Carvey impression. No, I'd go Dobbs.
All right. Dobbs had 6 targets last week. Wasn't great. By the way, if you're asking about Tucker Kraft, let's see. Carolina. I don't even have where they rank against tight ends.
Not good.
They're not that bad against tight ends, though. They've faced tough ones.
10.9 and 10.9 or fewer half PPR points to tight ends in 5 of their past 6 games. I do not care.
Okay. I know we're obviously starting Kraft, but every week we get a lot of Kraft or Kittle, Kraft or Gadsden, because he wasn't taken super early. So I think people have some tough Kraft calls. But okay, let's just start him.
I think anybody who's been rolling at tight end is a go, along with Kittle and Bowers ahead of Kraft.
Okay.
Rolling meaning like Ferguson's been awesome. Tyler Warren has been awesome. Trey McBride has been awesome. Like, I'll start those guys ahead of Tucker Kraft.
I'd start Kraft ahead of Ferguson's.
All right. Finish up with some more Rico Dowdle stuff. Rico Dowdle or Stephon?
Is that me who went out or you guys who went out?
Oh,
Adam went
I
out.
don't know. Sorry.
Say it again, Adam.
Rico Dowdle or Stephon Diggs?
I would go
Dowdle and non and half. I might go Diggs, and I don't even know if I'd go Diggs in full.
Okay.
It's close.
Dowdle. I asked Dowdle or Tracy, right? Someone had that in the chat.
Tracy.
All right, last one. Dowdle or Xavier Worthy at Buffalo?
Dowdle.
We're not worthy, man. That means I go Dowdle.
Okay. Packers DST is top 3 for Jamie and Dave. Next game, Minnesota is at Detroit. Ooh. Name of the game: Aiden and Abetten Hutchinson or David Montgomery. Okay. Stat of the game: the Vikings see the second fewest pass attempts in the NFL on a per game basis. Jared Goff has thrown fewer than 30 passes in 6 straight games. The Lions are 30th in pass rate. So is that kind of what we're expecting, Jamie? A lot of running, maybe about 30 passes for Detroit.
I would think that's fair. We'll see if the home magic comes into play here for Jared Goff. They're clearly heavy favorites. I mean, you know who you're starting. You're starting for sure Jahmyr Gibbs and Amara St. Brown, and then it comes down to what your quarterback situation looks like. I think Goff will finish as a top 10 quarterback this week. I don't know if it'll be a monster game, but I think good enough. 22 plus points. Montgomery's touchdown dependent, but we've seen this Vikings run defense at times just be awful this season. So it's a good chance for Montgomery, especially in a closing role, to get into the end zone. And then Laporta and Jamison Williams, you read the report about Jamison, hopefully trying to get him going coming off the bye week. So if you're desperate, I think he's a good boom or bust number 3 receiver with the hope that we see an uptick in targets. This is typically the type of setup that he does well. It just makes him tough to trust based on the body of work this season. And then for Laporta, I mean, if you want to say Gadsden over him, if you want to say, Kraft based on the comment you mentioned about not being drafted ahead of Laporta, I can see that happening. I would probably stick with Laporta over Gadsden and Kraft over Laporta if that's the choice.
Okay. So you said Jameson Williams is a number 3. Not trying to be that guy, but you guys have him 43rd. So that must mean there are a lot. Is Christian Watson a better play than Jameson Williams?
They're the same guy, and at least Watson, first game back was heavily involved in his offense, where we've seen that at times for Jameson Williams not be the case. So I don't really look at the top 48 as breaking it down by 12. There's just too many good receivers. So
right.
When I get into the low 40s, I still think that's number 3 receiver.
Are we ready to believe John Morton? Are we ready to believe that the Lions are going to air it out in a game where they might not have to? And they did something like that against Chicago earlier this year. I'm not sure if I can buy all the way back in on JMO just because of a couple of comments from his coach or from reporters or what have you.
So if we just talk about the passing game in general for the Lions, Jared Goff is, I think, somewhat similar to Jordan Love, right? Super talented, great offense, but doesn't throw that much. Doesn't run as much as Love, obviously. Minnesota, like I said, they don't see a lot of pass attempts, but they've been pretty bad against the pass. 6th most yards per attempt in the NFL. The last 2 quarterbacks to face them, Jalen Hurts scored 30 points. Justin Herbert scored 31 points, and they both threw 23 to 25 passes in that game. So, so you guys like Goff. Goff is on like a higher tier than Love, right?
He is for me.
Yeah.
I don't have him as a top 10 quarterback, though. There's so many other quarterbacks I think have more upside than Goff this week. I like him, but he's not top 12 or top 10.
Would you start Goff or Arizona quarterbacks?
Probably Arizona quarterbacks. I have Kyler over him now, and if I like Brissett for fantasy more than Kyler, I would probably start Brissett over Goff too.
I would go Goff.
Goff or Caleb?
Goff.
Caleb.
Okay. And then JMO's a boomer bust play. Laporta, I'll give you a few more Laportas. I know it was just said, I'm sorry, but Laporta or Gadsden?
I'll take Gadsden.
All right, Laporta for Dave, Laporta for Jamie, Gadsden for Dave. Laporta or you wouldn't start Colson Loveland over him, would you?
Mm-mm. Nope.
Okay. He's an incredibly frustrating player. I mean, there's no question. It's pretty annoying. So I don't know. I feel like I have won the Laporta League, and I don't even think about streaming. I just start him, and I just deal with the consequences because there's big upside every week. But Ferguson versus Laporta is pretty interesting. Where would you guys go there?
Ferguson.
Interesting. Okay. On the other side, Montgomery. Yeah, Montgomery or Dowdle?
Montgomery.
I have Montgomery higher.
You just think he's going to score this week?
Yeah.
All right, because he's got one game with more than 12 carries, and it was that homecoming game against Cincinnati with his sister in attendance where he throw a touchdown or something like that,
Yep.
where they clearly were trying to get him going, but he's usually 12 carries. Minnesota doesn't have a very good run defense, but okay, so Montgomery's a number 2 running back. Is he better than the Vikings running backs?
Yes.
Way better.
Like, that's a situation we want to avoid, right? Like the plague?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to start them, and monkeys are going to fly out of my butt. Yeah, sorry. Throw that in there.
Don't say sorry. It's Halloween. You're Wayne Campbell. You're Wayne Campbell, man.
Okay, excellent. So, Dave, both Darisaw practiced in full, their left tackle on Wednesday, then didn't practice Thursday. But O'Neal, their right tackle, has been limited both days. So, again, we might see a better version of J.J. McCarthy. Would you guys start Jordan Addison? He's tough. I mean, why wouldn't I start Jordan Addison? Hasn't he earned it? Is he a must start basically at this point?
As a number 2 receiver, sure.
Dave, yeah. Jamie?
He's a borderline maybe start. And I mean that in 2 receiver leagues only. 3 receiver leagues are definitely starting him. It's just one of those things where you want to see what this looks like with McCarthy, because it's the first game where they're together. It's the first game of McCarthy coming back after the extended absence. Like, there could be some issues here. And so I want to give Addison the benefit of the doubt. I don't think the secondary is one to run away from. I mean, they've played better than I think a lot of people expected, especially given the injuries of late. But my hope is we see Detroit build a big lead and Minnesota's forced to throw. And that was kind of what happened in week 1 for McCarthy, right? He had the the Bears were playing with the lead, and McCarthy had to make plays in the third and fourth quarter, and we started to see him use his legs, and he looked good, and then got Jefferson involved. So I'm certainly not running away from Addison, but he's not ranked in the top 20. I initially started the week with him there, but I think just taking a little bit of a step back because of what McCarthy may or may not do for him.
Fair. Yeah, it's a wild card. The good thing for Addison is that Kirby Joseph still missing practice. They're still beat up in the secondary, maybe getting a little healthier. The fact that they have a Lee McNeil back up front is big, but it is still a kind of a wounded secondary. And last thing here.
But tell that to Tampa, who thought that they'd be able to take advantage of that, and they couldn't.
And Branch is back.
Amik Robertson's
Branch is back? I don't think Branch is back. I thought he's been.
One game.
Branch is back. He had a 1-game suspension. He's definitely back.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I was thinking Kirby Joseph. But Carlton Davis is out, right? So TJ Hawkinson.
Carlton Davis isn't on the Lions.
I always do that with the.
That's what I did with Greg Dulcich.
Yeah, no. Who's their second cornerback? DJ Reed. Sorry, I always do that with them. He's out. Okay, TJ Hawkinson, starter sit.
I would try and sit him.
I would too.
Although I must say, it is better for him if both tackles play.
Okay.
Might not be asked to chip as much. I don't know if we know the status of Josh Oliver, but if he's out, then that'll open up more things for Hawkinson. If those tackles play, I'll be a little more encouraged in Jefferson, Addison, and maybe even Hawkinson too, but he wouldn't crack my top 12.
All right, so that's Vikings at Lions. Lions DST is a start?
Yeah.
But the Vikings DST is not.
Lions or Rams?
Rams are number 1.
Lions or Patriots?
Patriots are number 2. Why don't you ask us Lions or Seahawks?
No. Lions or Chargers at Tennessee?
I have Lions ahead of everybody except the Rams, Patriots, and Seahawks.
Chargers significantly ahead for me.
Lions or Mr. Big? Okay. Right? Isn't that his name? Okay. All right.
I think so, yes.
What was I going to say?
Not the Wayne's World reference I was expecting.
I couldn't think of a good one. I don't know. Benjamin. All right, we're out of here. We're not out of here. We'll be right back. We're going to take a break. We got 4 games left. San Francisco's at the Giants. Upset alert? No. We'll be right back on Fantasy Football Today.
Only CBS Sports can bring you big time during the heart of Saturday afternoons. It's big time.
It's big time. It's big time. It's big time.
On CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
San Francisco's at the Giants. Name of the game. Giants punter Jamie Gillen. Or JB Villain. That was all I could come up with for that game. Okay, Giants hosting the 49ers.
I mean, it's unfortunate that we had the injury because you had Cam Skattebo.
Oh, Cam Skattebo it's so sad that he's not playing on Halloween weekend because he's perfect for it. Absolutely. Although it's just in Halloween weekend. I guess last week was because once November comes around, Halloween is over and you are not allowed to dress up or celebrate Halloween. All the decorations must be removed. It's the rules. You don't know the rules. Oh, I forgot to say, we'll be right back before the next break. Damn it, I had all these things planned. Okay, San Francisco at the Giants. And Jamie, break down the passing game for the Niners for me. Who are you, if anyone other than Kittle, excited to start?
I'm not excited to start any of them, but, Jennings is a number 3 receiver, 7 targets each of the last 2 weeks. We've said this many times throughout the last week, especially talking about the quarterbacks, that it was Atlanta when they're playing well and then Houston. And that's a tough 2-game stretch for any passing attack. And so I think in looking at it, like Kendrick Bourne, I'm just not as encouraged by it because the last 2 weeks have been down for him from a target perspective. It coincides with George Kittle coming back again, coincides with those 2 matchups. But I think he's got to factor in personnel more so than the defense that they're facing. So I'm hoping that certainly when Purdy comes back, that's the best of Juwan Jennings. I definitely want to roster him. He was 64% roster going into Tuesday. So he should be on your team. If you need him as number 3 receiver, he's my favorite of the group. But really, it's just Kittle and McCaffrey as must-start guys.
If we're going to talk about cornerback injuries in Detroit, we have to talk about them for the Giants too.
Yeah.
Paulson Adebo, no practice yet this week. He might miss the game. He's their best cover corner. Cordell Flotz in concussion protocol. I don't know if he's likely to play. Art Green hasn't practiced this week. Those are 3 of maybe their top 4 or 5 corners. on the squad. They're going to be going with Deonte Banks, who's been burned a ton over his career, maybe playing a little bit better this year. Drew Phillips is their slot corner. The 49ers receivers are going to have some good matchups on the outside. And if Brock Purdy's back, I feel like that's an upgrade for the wideouts too. So not that I'm racing to start Jennings or Bourne, but they're going to have probably a better setup than they would normally have because of this matchup.
Just keep in mind, though, it's a similar personnel situation to what they had last week when the Giants were all beat up. And it was Goddard scoring 2 touchdowns. We thought Devontae Smith was going to be an absolute monster. He wasn't. The run game was good for the Eagles taking on the Giants defense. So this could be another McCaffrey, Kittle, and maybe somebody else steps up.
I mean, I guess so, but Smith had 6 catches for 84 yards on 9 targets, right? He had a good game.
No. We had him very well.
5.
Yeah, he played very well. I thought Smith was going to be nuclear, without AJ Brown there. So again, sliding scale. I think that you treat them as number 3 receivers. Like I'm not. This is the most encouraged I've been by Jennings in a month.
Right. You know what? It's a good DFS play. It's a great matchup, and what we've seen the last couple of weeks. As soon as those guys got hurt, it was third quarter basically of the Denver game. They gave up 33 points in a quarter, and then last week they got destroyed by the Eagles. So their defense has fallen apart with the absence of their defensive backs, and it's even worse now. Then even though they might get their safety Javon Holland back, it's even worse now than it was, going into the Philadelphia game. All right, so Rodgers or 49ers?
Who?
Which are 49ers?
Rodgers or a 49ers quarterback?
Rodgers.
Really? Darnold or a 49ers quarterback?
Darnold.
You might talk me into Purdy over Darnold.
And you said that Wan'Dale, Dave Wan'Dale was your favorite receiver in this game, even though all the things we just said about the Niners?
Yeah. Listen, the one thing about the 49ers that helps the Giants is they have nothing in their pass rush. So Jackson Dart's going to have time to throw. That could be good for Slayton. I have him a little higher than I normally do. It's going to be good for Wan'Dale. Might even be good for Theo Johnson. But I think Dart will have an okay day passing. And that's on top of his rushing.
Would you start, the safe Wan'Dale Robinson, or I'll throw it to you, Dave, Keon Coleman, and this boom opportunity?
I don't care what kind of an opportunity Keon has. I can't trust him.
But why? Like, this is going to be the first. Allen never throws the ball. He's going to throw the ball this week. It's going to happen.
I think Jackson Dart's going to throw the ball a decent amount too, though. And Wan'Dale's been getting a lot of good volume.
Okay, then fine. How about Khalil Shakir over these guys? Would you at least go that way?
I know what you're doing.
Damn it.
Hit them.
All right. I'm going to have to pivot. I'm going to have to pick a different game.
No, you're not. There's only one game.
Because that's the game of the week. Yeah. The Bills and the Chiefs. It's on CBS, folks. And it's the game of the week. Hey, do you have red rope licorice? Look at that.
No, they're drumsticks.
Oh, they're drumsticks? I thought they were red rope licorice that you were using as drumsticks.
They were used at a Blackhawks game. That's why they're red.
Okay, cool. All right. Giants are interesting here. Jamie talked to me about Tyrone Tracy and the Giants in general. All right, Jackson Dart or a 49ers receiver? Who do you like better?
Jackson Dart or a 49ers receiver?
A 49ers quarterback.
I go Dart.
Christian McCaffrey or Tyrone Tracy?
I would go Christian McCaffrey over 2 Tyrone Tracy's.
Tyrone Tracy or any wide receiver in this game?
Tyrone Tracy.
Do you like Tracy?
I wouldn't mind starting 2 Tyrone Tracy's on my fantasy team.
Tracy Jr. and Senior. Jamie, how much do you like Tracy? Lay it out for me.
I think he's a good number 2 running back. We'll see. The wild card is Devin Singletary and what happens with his role. And look, we've seen this for Tracy in his rookie season where he's had some good matchups. We thought he was going to get volume and he struggled. So I don't want to say it's slam dunk for Tyrone Tracy, but you're just looking at opportunity. Cam Scadaboo's got so many touches. He's been very successful. He's worked in the passing game. Tracy's now going to step into that role. You talked about this, comparing him to his rookie season. The offensive line's in better shape, mostly just because Andrew Thomas is there. And I think the quarterback play will hopefully be better as well with Jackson Dart. So it's a 49ers defense that's been absolutely abysmal against running backs for the last 5 games. And so Tracy's got a huge opportunity here. It's just, will he get those touches that we're hoping for? Will he be the goal line guy? You know, we've talked about this. Could be Devin Singletary. I think he's going to be a 3-down running back. So there's a huge ceiling for him here. I just don't know where the floor lies, because it could be awful if it's not the type of work that we're looking for here from all aspects. So to me, he's a good number 2 running back, and I'm excited to start.
My biggest question for him is just, is he going to be the goal line guy, or are they going to use Singletary? Don't know. They kind of split it last year when they were both healthy at the end of the season. So, the 49ers, I think they've allowed 15.1 or more PPR fantasy points to a running back in 6 of 8 games. And all right, so Wandale is like a number 3 receiver. Darius Slayton's in that boom bust number 3, number 4 status. Theo Johnson. Anybody want to start Theo Johnson?
I do. I'm starting him this week. Again, you look at his stretch with Dart. It's been 2 bad games, and the 2 bad games were against the same team, against Philadelphia. So, Dave said it. The opportunity is there. I think Dart will throw a little bit more, just because maybe the lack of faith in the run game, or production in the run game, from the switch from Scadaboo to Tracy. But the 49ers struggled against tight ends as well. So there's a chance for him to come in here and be a good target, a productive target at least. And Daniel Bellinger is also dealing with a neck injury. He's not going to be there. So low end starter. I wouldn't put much faith in him. Going back to Tuesday, if you're looking at what the percentages were, he was 67% rostered. Obviously, Loveland was much more widely available. I had it ranked with Johnson over Loveland, and you know how much I like Loveland with his matchup. So I think Theo Johnson's a good plug and play if he's available on waivers.
Okay. Let me do some more Jackson Darts here. Jackson Dart or Jordan Love?
Dart.
Jackson Dart or Sam Darnold?
Dart.
Daniel Jones or Jackson Dart?
Jones.
Daniel Jones.
How do you think the Giants would feel about that question? All right, questions from the chat. Darius Slayton, Quentin Johnston, or Jake Ferguson, PPR?
Ferguson.
Agreed.
Kyler Murray or Purdy if he starts? 4-point per passing touchdown.
Kyler.
Jennings, Debo, or Pierce?
Debo.
Purdy or Stafford?
Stafford.
Jennings or Keenan Allen?
Allen.
Agreed.
Wandale or Travis Hunter? Ooh.
Hunter.
Wandale.
Ooh, a split there. Cortland Sutton or Jawan Jennings?
Sutton.
Dart or Caleb Williams? 4-point.
Dart.
Really? Okay. 49ers or Giants?
4-point, that's even easier.
I know. I mean, I guess could have a rushing touchdown. 49ers or Giants?
You got to pick one of these DSTs. It would be the Niners.
Okay. All right. And that's it for that game. We are on to Seattle at what? Eric. Oh, no. I missed all my scary music. Where is it? Ooh. Seattle from the state of Washington, traveling to the District of Columbia, Washington. The name of the game, of course, is Washington tight end John Bates Motel. Okay, stat of the game. Ken Walker has 2 carries from the 3-yard line or closer. Both of them were in week 3 with Zach Charbonnet out. And Charbonnet has the second most touchdowns from the 1 or 2 yard line. The only guy who has more is Javonte Williams. Washington's run defense has been really bad 3 straight weeks. Jave, can we trust any running back in this game?
I think the running back you trust the most is Walker, but it's with low-end number 2 running back expectations. You're hoping that he gets a little more work and that the game script is favorable for him and for Charbonnet. The next running back that I think I like after those 2 is McNichols, because if the Seahawks build a lead and run the ball a lot, and I think they're going to try and run the ball a lot, then it means that the Commanders are going to have to be in come from behind, pass-heavy mode, and that's when McNichols plays. We got a taste of what that looks like last week, and the production wasn't so bad.
Okay. It's not great. I mean, we're going to start Rico Dowdle over Walker or no?
I haven't ranked
running backs over Dowdle.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, and Charbonnet is actually my favorite one. Yeah, I just think in terms of trust, he's the easiest one to trust.
Well, but you know the deal. If he doesn't score a touchdown, he's going to have a terrible game.
And Walker has been what? Like, I mean,
I
can certainly understand if we were getting great production from Walker, At
No,
this point,
I'd
this
go
hasn't been changed.
Dowdle. I'm saying I'd go Dowdle over
Oh,
both.
you can go that route, sure. But I think that we're going to get touchdown opportunities for Charbonnet. He's delivered in 3 of his last 4 games, 4 touchdowns over that span. So there's at least enough of a track record and the defense that he's facing to buy into him getting those chances. It for me, and again, using the word trust, Walker's more of a hope that they went into their bye week and saw that he's got still some juice left and can be explosive. Hope that he breaks a big run against this defense. Hope that maybe we get the game that we saw last time from him, where he had 17 carries as opposed to 10 in each of the previous 2. So, is he going to get those chances? I still think he's number 2 running back. So I'll take the chance on Charbonnet finding the end zone and Walker maybe being explosive in his matchup versus Dowdle and what he's got to face against Green Bay.
And I'd go the other way on that, but I do have them ranked relatively close to each other. I don't think there's any question about Walker's juice. I think he can still run, and he's still easily the more explosive of the 2. And I don't necessarily think that the Seahawks are going to say, all right, you know what, enough's enough. We're going to sit Charbonnet and Walker's just going to get, every single snap. I don't think that's happening. I think they like what they have planned, and I think they'll keep using that. But I don't think it's going to mean that Walker takes a seat in the second half. I think he's going to get a little bit more work than normal because I'm not expecting it to be a competitive game. I certainly don't expect Seattle to be chasing points in this game. And this Washington defense, it's old and it's slow. And that just sets up for Walker to have a bunch of explosive runs. And he's easily the more explosive of the 2. So I'm going to take the chance on that over Charbonnet and the hope that he finds the end zone.
I don't know. I mean, Charbonnet has outscored over their last 4 games. Charbonnet has outscored Walker 3 times and tied him once because neither of them catch the ball. So it's like that could obviously change, but Darnold just is not throwing to his running backs. He isn't throwing that much to begin with.
Right.
It really is probably going to come down to touchdowns, and Charbonnet clearly has a much bigger edge there. But Dave, I respect you. Okay, so
neither one of these guys. Jamie might have it differently, but I don't have either one in my top 20.
No,
these are
but they're
at
both in my
best
top
low
24.
end number 2 running backs, and I like them both ahead of Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. I have them both ahead of any Vikings running back, any Titans running back. I've got Walker ahead of Kamara. I should probably have Charbonnet ahead of Kamara too.
I think I'm probably a little higher on Darnold than you guys are.
I like Darnold this week.
He's got a great floor. He's one of like maybe 18 quarterbacks that have that safe 18.
This is the perfect setup for him. It's what we've seen him have success in so far this season. The 2 games prior to facing Houston. There's only been 2 quarterbacks this season that have failed to get to 20 fantasy points against this defense, and one of them was Herbert, who had 19.5. The other one was Russell Wilson in week 1. Like, there's just a lot to love about this. Like you said, defense is old, it's slow. They're missing their best pass rusher for the last 2 weeks, or this will be the second week at least. It just feels like Darnold could come in and have a big game.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, you could argue that the Commanders may not put up a lot of points and he might not throw. I don't know that I like him more than you. I think now that I think of it, it's just a really, as you guys have said, and Heath said yesterday, it's a really good week for quarterback. So Darnold being about 15th in the rankings is not an indictment on Darnold. But what I love about it, I said this on the waiver wire show, Darnold leads the NFL in yards per attempt. The Commanders are last in the NFL defensively in yards per attempt. They are a horrible pass defense, 21.9 or more fantasy points to 6 of 8 quarterbacks, 29 fantasy points to 3 quarterbacks this year. You don't have to throw much to be good against Washington. So you can start him, but he's not a top 12 guy. We talked about the Seattle running backs. We're going to start Jackson Smith and Jigba. Any interest in Cooper Kupp?
He was added to the injury report on Thursday. So keep an eye on that. And if he's out, maybe Torrey Horton, can have a big player too. So
is he on the injury report too? Horton?
I didn't see if Horton was, but maybe I missed something.
I'll double check.
Okay. And any interest in Seattle tight end?
I mean,
I'd rather
Barner's a touchdown or bust type of guy, so desperation play.
Jamie, as Dave looks that up, Jamie, starter sit Jaden Daniels.
Low-end starter. We talked about this on CBS Sports Network yesterday. I think we kind of all came to the same conclusion. Like, we're putting him at 12, I think, across the board, mostly out of, like, hope and a little bit of fear because the defense is as good as it is. How healthy is the hamstring? Doesn't have Terry McLaurin. So you don't want to miss out on the upside of what it is. Like, I don't necessarily buy Seattle blowing them out because Jaden Daniels is still good and can make plays and obviously keep this team in it. Plus, they're at home. So I think that they'll move the ball enough. It's just a matter of, like, where is he getting his production from? So I like Zach Ertz, as we talked about. I think Deebo Samuel will have somewhat of a bounce back game. To what extent, we'll find out. they're not going to run the ball. So Daniel's going to have to put a lot on his shoulders. And so I think low-end starter, better than Darnold, better than Trevor Lawrence, better than, for now, 49ers quarterbacks. It comes down to, like, do you want to start Jackson Dart over him? Do you want to start Caleb Williams over him? Joe Flacco even over him? That's, I think, where some of the questions come into play. So we'll see how the injury report shakes out for some of these guys. But I think Jane Daniels low-end starter. Like, I have him one league. I have him with Caleb Williams, 10-team league. I'm starting Caleb Williams over.
I would too. Injury report for Seattle. There's no Torrey Horton on it, but Devin Witherspoon, full practice, so he'll be back. Leonard Williams is going to play. DeMarcus Lawrence is going to play. Derek Hall is going to play. Is there anybody else? Julian Love hasn't practiced. So
No,
that's like it. Like, this secondary is getting healthy just in time for a banged up and depleted Commanders offense. This is not going to be an easy game. It's very hard to rank Jaden Daniels as high as we normally would because of the situation.
He's been pretty good, guys. I mean, he
has, but the offensive line is going to be missing Tunsil, I think.
Tonsillitis.
Yeah, right. And we know that Scary Terry isn't going to play.
Who?
Debo, you heard me.
Scary Terry. Okay, Dave, does this offense make you want to spew?
Ugh. Spew. If you're gonna spew into this.
Okay, let's I get it.
One quick thing on Debo. I
Yes.
originally had him ranked pretty high this week. I went back and I watched his snaps from last week. He can't separate right now, and he's getting a bunch of short targets. And it makes me nervous that he doesn't have anywhere near the same type of upside as he had earlier in this year. So count me out on him as a top 24 wide receiver, especially against this matchup.
Jamie, you said Debo's like a default top 24 receiver, right?
He's a low-end number 2 receiver. I mean, again, this is the setup where he's had success, and I don't know when his career he's ever been able to separate. So we'll see how he performs with his with hopefully, an uptick in targets. And again, last week Mariota coming back from the injury, 2 weeks now removed from the injury, not on the injury report. So I'm hoping that he's healthy. It's more hope than anything else.
Zach Ertz is 11th for Jamie, 8th for Dave, and 12th for Heath. Dave has him one spot ahead of Travis Kelce, or as someone in the chat said earlier, Travis Kelce. Dave has him ahead of Kincaid and Gadsden. Jamie does not have him ahead of Kelce or Gadsden or Kincaid. Yeah, you do have him ahead of Kincaid, yes. But Ertz is a low-end starter. I'm going to read some chat questions to finish this game. Darnold or Flacco?
Flacco as of now.
Debo, Aaron Jones, or Chameri DK, PPR?
Debo.
I did not move Debo so far down that I would rather start DK.
Jaden Daniels or Daniel Jones?
Jones.
Flex, Charbonnet, Gadsden, or Henderson?
I got Gadsden the highest.
See about Henderson once the injury report comes out, but I would probably go Gadsden.
Pick 2, Charbonnet, Kareem Hunt, Chase Brown.
Hunt and Brown.
Hunt and Brown.
Cooper Kupp, Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears. Pick 2.
I'm never starting both Titans running backs, so I would go Spears and Kupp.
Yeah.
Ken Walker or Cortland Sutton, PPR?
Sutton.
Agreed.
Darnold, Goff, or Caleb?
Goff.
Dart or Daniels, 4-point?
Dart.
All right, that's it for this game. Pardon me. All right, let's go to New Orleans. A terrifying trip to Los Angeles to face the Rams. Name of the game, Blake Gorham. Okay. Dave, let's make this
terrible.
That's one of my favorite ones. Blake Gollum. Dave, let's make this game easy here. Starts and sits for the Saints and Rams.
If you want to say something scary, you should have just said watch the Saints.
Yeah. Tyler suck. Okay, Dave.
The only Saint you can feel good about starting is Chris Olave. The only Ram you could feel nervous about starting, the only two that come to my mind are Tyler Higbee and Blake Corum. You know what to do with everybody else that I didn't say.
This is not exactly a start them all, sit them all, because I think Rashid Shaheed, I think the passing game is interesting. You could see them throwing a ton like they did last week. They threw 50.
Yeah, but it's Tyler Shuck and not Spencer Rattler. And so I would expect a slight downgrade, especially for Shaheed, who's just so dependent on the deep ball to get huge numbers.
Now, look, Shaheed got open for a deep ball. Should have been, I think, a 34-yard touchdown, and Shuck missed him. Most of what
that happens with Shuck when it's not a fade.
It happens with a lot of quarterbacks, unfortunately. But deep balls are tough. But it was a lot of get the ball out of your hand quickly, really short area, first read, boring check down stuff. The kind of stuff we saw from Spencer Rattler at the beginning of this season. And then he got better and he started throwing downfield. But I could see like the old Chris Olave games with a lot of targets, a lot of catches, but really not a lot of yards. It's kind of, I think, to me, Jamie, what I could see from this passing game, which does make those guys pretty interesting in PPR. I know that we're mostly going to start Olave. I guess real quick, would you start Olave or Devontae Adams?
Adams.
All right. Would you start Olave or Giants 49ers receivers?
Olave.
Yes.
And now same question with Shaheed versus the Giants and 49ers receivers.
I would start Robinson over Shaheed. Probably Jennings over Shaheed too.
I'd go Shaheed over Jennings. I feel like they're kind of the same, but Shaheed has a little more upside.
Zach Ertz or Juwan Johnson?
Ertz.
Juwan Johnson or Theo Johnson?
Theo.
I have Juwan a little higher.
All right. Let's call him a top 15 guy, top 16 guy. TJ Hawkinson or Theo Johnson?
Theo.
I'll probably take the chance on Hawk if that offensive line's okay.
All right. So we're going to do one
thing.
Do you
mean Juwan, though, because we're talking about the Saints?
Rank all three. Hawkinson, Juwan, Theo. That's how I have it.
Jamie, Hawkinson, Juwan, Theo?
Theo, Juwan, Hawkinson.
All right. Jamie, you talk about Kamara and your expectations and who you'd start ahead of him and whatnot. And then, Dave, you do that with Stafford. Jamie, go.
I have very minimal expectations for Kamara to be successful in this game. The Rams defense is fantastic, number 2 in fewest fantasy points allowed to the position. They have yet to allow a touchdown on the ground to a running back. Kamara has not scored since week 1. He's just not running very well. The offensive line's a mess since McCoy got hurt. It wasn't even great with McCoy in there. So coming off a bye, Rams should be able to swallow up Kamara and not have to worry about him having a big game.
But this is the exact situation where we get fooled by the fantasy gods, right? Where here's the Rams. They've been awesome against the run. And now Alvin Kamara goes out and he has a bunch of touchdowns.
But why?
Because it's stupid and fantasy's stupid sometimes. I'm just messing around. I'm not starting Alvin Kamara because of that. Give me a break.
All right, Dave, you're up for Stafford.
Stafford is a top 10 quarterback. He's got Nakua and Adams to throw to. The Saints defense isn't very good. We've seen the Rams, even when the game script's been favorable, Stafford will throw 5 touchdowns. It's literally what they did in their last game. New Orleans offense is not going to be very good. The Rams defense should swallow them up, and Stafford should have plenty of opportunities to have a hyper efficient game. He's basically a must start quarterback.
Questions from the chat. Olave or Shakir, non-PPR?
Olave.
I still have Olave over Shakir.
Rams D is a must start, right? Yes.
The best DST you could start this week, in my opinion.
Devontae Adams or George Pickens?
Adams.
I think I agree. I do.
Kyle says, it's Olave, like Frankenstein. That's good.
That's clever.
And Stafford.
Finally, someone with a clever name.
I know. Stafford or Jaden Daniels?
Stafford.
Agreed.
All right. Next game, last game is
just real quick. Blake Gorham, not a bad desperation play. Got 12 carries last time they played in a blowout, and may get similar type of run against the Saints. So it's not he didn't do much with it. He had 43 total yards and 1 catch in the game against Jacksonville, but would not be surprising if he has a similar situation. And just in the same scenario, Emmanuel Wilson also. If they blow out the Panthers,
sure,
you can see some similar. Had 11 carries last week against the Steelers.
A couple other running backs in that vein. In fact, I like these guys better. Our Monangai with the Bears against Cincinnati. And we talked about Jerry McNichols for a second. If it's full PPR, I don't mind him either.
Last game.
Oh, and Brashard Smith too.
We could do better than this. Arizona at Dallas. Your name of the game. Trey McBride of Chucky.
Not bad.
Thank you. That was another one of my favorites. Okay. Favorite quarterback in this game?
Dak.
Rain Dakota Prescott.
Second favorite wide receiver in this game?
Pickens.
George Pickens.
Favorite tight end? McBride.
Trey McBride of Frankenstein.
All right, so the easy ones are Dak and Javonte and Lamb.
Pickens too.
He's not that easy.
I think Pickens and Harrison, no matter what you're starting them.
Well, Pickens for sure. Harrison, I think you're starting. You'd have to be really loaded at receiver to not.
Adam, how do you miss Silence of the CeeDee Lamb? Good question. Ooh, how about this one? Count Dacula. Good. Okay, thank you. Kyler Murray and Jacoby Brissett. Let's say they're ranked similarly. Dave, they are, ahead of, behind who? Like, give me the range for these quarterbacks.
Kyler is ahead of Goff, Rodgers, Lawrence, Darnold, Love, Bo Nix. And would I move Brissett ahead of Jaden Daniels? That might be a tough sell for me, but I'd probably put him ahead of Flacco. I'm impressed with how he's played the last couple of weeks. This is one of the easiest matchups that a quarterback can have. Dallas doesn't get a lot of pressure on the quarterback. Their secondary is banged up and not great. This is a huge opportunity for Arizona to put up points. So I'd be a little more optimistic because Brissett's been throwing well. I am hopeful that Kyler can throw well because he hasn't been great this year. But even going back to Dallas, we talked about this on CBS Sports Network. He's got a long and storied history of playing at AT&T Stadium. He's a Texas kid. High school, college, pros, undefeated in that stadium. And I think he's going to be amped up to play if he does play. So Kyler Murray in that top 12 range for me, for sure.
Jamie, Jake, let's see. Someone had no, it's not Jason Ferguson. It's Jake Ferguson. Jason Voorhees Ferguson. Fine. You know what? I'll play along. Jason Voorhees Ferguson. 1 target. Sorry, that was super loud. 1 target last week. Give me a reason why I should be confident starting him.
Everything he's done prior to last week. I mean,
yes,
guys are going to have bad games at times, especially when he shares the field with 2 very good players and he was playing a really good defense. So I'm going right back to Jake Ferguson. No issues.
Okay, but he's had 2 bad games out of 4 with CeeDee Lamb. So I'm not even sure I care about what he did in the games without CeeDee Lamb. He scored 7.3, 16.8, 21.9, and 0 fantasy points with Lamb. Now, this is a great matchup. They stink against.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're not going to get away from him. And think about the 2 games that you said that he had that he did well in, with that 16 plus and 21 plus. Like that's I'm not benching that potential ever.
Yeah. Arizona actually has had a pretty good pass defense. They are 8th best against quarterbacks, 7th fewest yards per attempt. Only 2 quarterbacks have had good games against them. They're really bad against tight ends, though. I don't know if that factors in at all with George Pickens. Like, you guys just think this game's a shootout and start everyone that's good, basically?
Pretty much.
I mean, I'm starting all the relevant Cowboys, as Dave said. I think with the Cardinals, the question would be is how much faith do you have in Kyler? And every quarterback against them has been 23 or more fantasy points. Jacoby Brissett's probably not going to bring as much confidence in fantasy managers, but the matchup is great. And so I think if you see him sitting out there on waivers and we get the word on Saturday that Murray is not going to play, I don't think that's going to happen. But if that does, then you just go and pick him up. In the case of my namesake, Zonovan Bam Knight, you look at what his chances are as well. 9.4 PPR points or more in all 3 games that he's played since Trey Benson's been injured. And now you're talking about a Dallas defense that's number 2 in most fantasy points allowed to running backs. Like, this is just the perfect setup for him. He scored 2 touchdowns in 3 of those games. So, we'll see what they do with Michael Carter. Was signed back to their practice squad. I don't know. I can't imagine them not giving Knight the chance to get 15 total touches in this game, and that should lead to a fairly successful performance.
I would hope for the same. Just to put it out there, Kyler's best game this year, and he hasn't played a defense as bad as this, although he did play Tennessee. 22.3 fantasy points in 6-point passing. Brissett's last 2 games, 23.8, 24.7. So, I mean, he's been getting the job done. He's a better thrower right now than Kyler Murray has been. Whether or not that changes and Dallas makes Kyler look better than he is, we'll see. It shouldn't discourage you from starting Kyler, but I think anybody that you feel like is safer and has higher upside is an easy quarterback to go with over Kyler.
Yes, a couple of Kyler puns I've seen is Kyler Murray and Killer Murray. Thoughts on Javonte in this game? Kevin wants to know in the chat. He should be really good. The Cardinals have allowed, this just as a floor, they've allowed 12.4 or more PPR fantasy points to a running back in every game. So it's a good matchup for Javonte, and he's obviously been a star this year. All right, I'll finish off with some chat questions here. Ferguson or Gadsden in PPR?
Ferguson.
I agree.
And then Witt says, you're not Xavier worthy. You're not Xavier worthy. Bam Knight or Chase Brown?
Brown.
Who do I have higher? I have Brown higher, but it's not by much.
We have Matthew Stafford in the other game. Sam Darnold or Kyler Murray? We're going Kyler here.
Mm-hmm.
Kyler or Caleb Williams?
Caleb.
Kyler and Caleb. Pitts or Ferguson?
Ferguson.
Okay. I got one last thing to say about this game. One thing that does scare me a little bit. Bam Knight's been pretty good. You know, he's not great. He's not going to run away from anybody. He's got like no explosiveness, but he's been solid. If he has a good game here, I wonder what it means for Trey Benson, not for Cedric Benson. I wonder what it means for Trey Benson. I wonder if they go to a committee. Is that a concern for you guys? If I'm the Trey Benson manager and I don't have Knight, I am rooting very hard against him in this matchup.
I mean, it certainly could be the case. You know, they were going with James Conner and Trey Benson to start the season, you know, so they're not opposed to, I think, using two running backs. It's just a question of, like, what role will Knight have and what role will Benson have? You know, if Knight has a dominant game here, you know, we get the Rico Dowdle, Chuba Hubbard situation. Does Knight, you know, warrant enough, you know, playing time to stay in that role? I'm not too concerned. I think it's Trey Benson's opportunity when he comes back. To what extent, we'll find out.
All right. If you have any Halloween puns, now would be the time to send them in. What are you going trick-or-treating tonight, or are you staying home and giving out the candy?
No, we're going out to two of my son's friends. So a big group of kids going. We're going it's like 3 or 4 families, and they all have a theme of, we're basketball, somebody's football, somebody's baseball. I don't remember if there's a soccer or hockey.
Cool.
But my wife and I were dressing as basketball referees, and they're going as basketball players.
Nice. I don't know if I told you this. I told Dave. So I ordered the Wayne costume, and then it came, and my wife, she has Wayne's exact hair, just longer. Okay. She's the perfect Wayne. So we were going to go as SpongeBob characters because my son is SpongeBob, but then she saw the costume and she really wanted to be Wayne. Okay. So I then had to buy the Garth costume for me. And I'm going as Garth tonight. I am Wayne right now, and I am Garth tonight. But I hope everybody.
I think actually you pull off Garth more than Wayne.
I like to play. I just don't have the drumsticks. But yeah, thank you.
Imagine there was a store that sold drumsticks. Amazing.
I don't even know where I go. Oh, I think I know where I go. Okay, so you know what? I have time today. Maybe I'll commit to it. So thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful Halloween. And this has been Fantasy Football Today. Party time. Excellent.